Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call our City Council meeting for March the 28th, 2019 to order. I'll ask that you please rise for the invocation, followed by the pledge. God, we thank you for this day and the blessings you bestow upon us each and every day. Be with those that are in need. Be with those who are in distraught times in their life. You know the needs of everyone, and we ask that you try to bless them with everything that they can and give us the wisdom and understanding to know that we need to reach out to others as well. Go with us, guide, guard, and direct in all that we say and all that we do. In our precious name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, no. Oh, there we go. We have a presentation from Girl Scout Troop 48 to the mayor. He is accepting them on behalf of our Public Works Department.
Good evening, Mayor Summey, members of City Council. I would also like to recognize some ladies here from Council with Girl Scouts of Eastern South Carolina, and then also the residents who are also here tonight. My name is Beth Evans, and I'm one of the co-leaders for Girl Scout Troop 048. Last year, we came before you and presented a box of Girl Scout cookies for every police officer and firefighter in this great city. The girls of Troop 48 decided to do 4 goals for this cookie season. Their goals were to get a box donated for every sanitation and maintenance worker in Public Works, to sell enough cookies to do a monetary donation to the Charleston Animal Society, to do a monetary donation to the Children's Hospital, and raise enough money to go on an overnight trip. These girls have worked very hard, and I am proud to say that the girls of Troop 048 sold 8,254 boxes of cookies this year, which allowed us to meet all of our goals. We come before you today to present these cookies for the sanitation and maintenance workers to show our appreciation for all of their hard work. Mayor, I present these on behalf of Public Works.
We will make sure they get them all except for maybe 11 boxes.
11? Yeah. Let me guess, Thin Mints?
We get one for each council member, and of course the mayor has that.
To sample to make sure they're good, right?
To make sure they're good.
Well, on that note, I would also like to say that the girls did so well that we would like to present the mayor, city council members, Miss Ellen Clark, the attorney, because I didn't know which one was here tonight, a package of s'mores. This is a fairly new cookie this is their 2nd year. We hope that they remind you of your campfire days. A little trick that the girls like to do is to put them in the microwave for a few seconds, get them all nice and gooey, like a real s'more. So, let me grab those real quick.
Thank you. Well, too bad for them.
3. Oh, somebody gets an extra 3 boxes. Beth, let me say on behalf of the council and Public Works this year and our police and fire from last year, and all the citizens of North Charleston. Thank y'all for working with these young ladies to teach them the importance of community giving and giving back to people. It is a great thing and service that y'all are doing, and so we greatly appreciate what you're doing. Thank y'all very much. Thank you, girls.
Mr. Brown.
Thank you so much. That's very sweet. She gets for being absent. We did. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. It's always an honor each year to welcome y'all to our meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
Well, unfortunately, there we go. Item 1 on the agenda is a request to approve the minutes from the March 14th, 2019 City Council meeting.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, the clerk please call the roll.
Ms. Jamison? Mr. Brinson? Mr. Olds?
Aye.
Mr. Hart? Mr. King? Mr. Skipper?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Summy?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Item 2 is, there's an amended item 2 on your table. It is the first reading of an ordinance as amended, providing for the regulation of non-consensual vehicle towing within the city of North Charleston by amending Chapter 10.5 to add 1100 through 10.5-1115 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of North Charleston regarding private non-consensual tows.
I want to ask Attorney Hare to explain to us the changes.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, unfortunately, between the last reading of this ordinance and the final reading, we discovered that the language needed to be changed. We failed to take out some of the language after Mayor Summy had negotiated one of the fees. And so the fee page is correct, but there is some language in the document that was sent out originally that says that they would pay up to half of that fee. So that's been removed. The other change is in the language that we discovered, again, between the two meetings, that state law will not allow us to require the tow companies to remain open or to be available to pick up tows beyond their normal business hours because of those two changes. And that has been changed to say that you can pick them up during the normal business hours, but not outside of it. Because of those two changes, we need to give this ordinance first reading as amended. There are two speakers signed up for later on during the speaking portion. I've talked to the mayor, and he has decided to let them speak tonight and not refer this to a committee again since it's already been. And since it won't be going to a committee, it was appropriate for them to be able to speak on this item tonight.
You would call them forward and let them speak now before we take the vote.
We actually have 3 speakers that signed up. The first one, sorry, I wasn't ready for that, is Mr. Thomas Nelson.
Is Mr. Nelson here?
We'll hold his spot for a second. The requester next was Jason Wingate.
You have 3 minutes, sir. Please give us your name and address for the record.
My name is Jason Wingate, 3220 Good Iron Way in North Charleston. Basically, I have a few things I want to say. I do not think that this ordinance is in any way, shape, or form fair to the tow truck drivers or the people who own the companies that operate in North Charleston. You've got Class D vehicles capped at 250. Nobody is going to crank their heavy-duty truck to come pick that vehicle up. It's not going to happen. So anybody who owns private property in the city of North Charleston, they're going to get tickets from your code enforcement for all the tractor trailers and everything else parked all over their property because they're not going to be able to get a company to come remove it because there's no money to be made at these prices. You've also got in there that we can't enter a vehicle. There's several vehicles that we can't tow without entering it. So now we legally can't do our job. We also have, I represent Mad Mom Towing, which y'all are all familiar with. This is a copy of our business license for Pat Pontieri. He sent an email out to the police department to have them pull us over, fine us, or take us to jail because we don't have this. If y'all would like to see it, we have it. We are licensed to do business in your city. So that's one thing I don't understand, how a city official can just basically take a vendetta that he has and use city resources such as the police department to pull us over. We've been told for years that the police department cannot interfere with the private property tow because this is a civil matter. But now all of a sudden, every time we tow a car, we're getting pulled over. We've got the police calling us demanding that we give it back because we're operating without a business license. But it's right here. We have it. And we also have body cam footage of several officers telling us they received that email. One of them is a lieutenant. So I don't know what we're going to do about that, but I do know that this ordinance is definitely not fair to the people that are involved. I know that y'all got 27 complaints, but what you should really stop and think about is how many people live in these apartment complexes, how many people own this private property that do not want these vehicles parked there. The people that complained to you broke the law. The law is you can't park your car there. Carries a $25 fine or up to 30 days in jail. We didn't break the law. We've abided by the law. We charge $5 less to impound a car than the city of North Charleston does. You guys charge $220, we charge $215. So we're not price gouging. We're not out ripping anybody off. These people are breaking the law, parking on our customers' property, and we have a contract to remove them. There's no price gouging. There's no shady business going on without a business license. There's none of that. There are signs posted at every one of our properties. This council's been very unfair to towing people in general, I believe. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your comments. Next.
Number 3 is Robert Boris, and I'm sorry if I miss B-O-R. There he is.
Please give us your name and address for the record and give us your remarks. You have 3 minutes.
Hey, my name is Robert Boris, and I'm with Firehouse Towing. I'm the owner. I've been conducting business for about almost 11 years now, and I reside in Moncks Corner. We have had, the first thing I'd like to bring up is that the very first news media situation that came out where the lady had explained that she was charged a $250 drop fee that was relating to my company. She said, and she blatantly lied to the council, she's lied to the police, and she lied just in general about that situation. That was not a vehicle that was towed, that was a 35-foot box truck that was loaded down with equipment that was blocking residents in Palmetto Creek Apartments. The manager herself had called us and told us to remove the vehicle weeks prior, but she didn't know who it was, and she was actually the leasing agent and came out and told law enforcement that she showed our card that she was an authority there and told law enforcement that it was authorized to be there. And I tried to express that. By the time I came from Moncks Corner, law enforcement was already there. And again, it was an outright lie what she had explained. We don't charge astronomical charges. I base my company's prices based on what the national accreditation towing regulations are for impounds. When we do police impounds, they just went up to $224 and $34 a day for storage. We get blasted all the time with abandoned vehicles from private property tows. And again, I take a pro law enforcement act because I was a patrol supervisor I retired from law enforcement just 2 years ago. Did 27 years and 6 months, and I take a proactive approach to try and get these people to comply. We send out letters. We have a contract that is a parking agreement. I stay away from the words contract because if the apartment complex doesn't want us to work for them, then we want them to just terminate us. But You have a handful of people that are 20, I've been hearing 27, 30 people calling and complaining about this situation, but you have over 300 law-abiding citizens that are in these apartment complexes that are voting citizens that call us up repeatedly. And if you don't believe me, you can call the property managers. I have probably 15 different property management groups that I deal with, and they are astounded with the performance that we do. We have to wear body cameras. Another thing the lady didn't tell you that night that she said her husband didn't do, or that she didn't explain at least, was that she told my driver he was going to put sink a bullet into his chest. And those are the type of things. It's no different than what I did with, in law enforcement on the street. They make all these threats and they come up with all these false accusations. We take photographs of every violation that we do. We have video body cams, and we're even wearing ballistic vests that we buy used from Gov Deals. I mean, it's ridiculous that these people, and to touch on I'm sorry.
Go ahead, finish your sentence.
Sorry?
Finish the sentence you're on.
Okay. It's tough, to deal with that situation when I lost my train of thought, so I'll have to fold. I'm sorry. But thank you for your time, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else? That was the two. Did the third person come in?
Mr. Nelson didn't come in?
Mr. Nelson didn't come? He's not going to be here. Okay. All right, to hear a motion? Motion for approval, second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion by council? Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Jamison?
Aye.
Mr. Brinson? Mr. Olds?
Aye.
Mr. Hart?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Skipper?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Summy?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously for first reading.
We'll have second reading at the first council meeting in
April 11.
11th. All right.
Item 3 is the final reading of an ordinance to rezone 2624 Madden Avenue from R1 Single Family to R2 Multifamily and amend the comprehensive plan land use map for that parcel, changing it from Single Family Suburban to Multifamily Residential.
Motion to deny.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk please call the roll.
Ms. Jamison?
Aye.
Mr. Brinson?
Aye.
Mr. Olds?
Aye.
Mr. Hart?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Skipper?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Summy?
Aye.
The motion to deny carries unanimously. Item 4 is the first reading of an ordinance authorizing the City of North Charleston to sell the property which was purchased with Greenbelt funds to Rhett Road LLC located at 1100 Rome Lane.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
just quickly, while I've seen a lot of posts on this issue, I want to say that I don't see anything that we as a city are doing wrong. Granted, Greenbelt funds are for purchase of property for preserving and being conservation, but in this instance, I think the Greenbelt Fund is benefiting with substantially more money being put back into it for future benefits.
Absolutely. Any other comments?
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
you really think we on legal ground? In the past, it's you could not sell property that you bought with Greenback funded. All that's changed now.
No, sir, it's not. It changed. It never was that way. It was the fact that you would have to refund the money. And in this case, they're not only getting the money that they gave us, they're getting the additional money as well, which we hopefully will use in larger.
Is this the first Greenbelt money that
No, sir.
have we ever done this before?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have. I don't remember anybody doing that. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Jamison?
Aye.
Mr. Brinson?
Aye.
Mr. Olds?
Aye.
Mr. Hart?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Skipper?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Summy?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. First reading. Item 5 is the first reading of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a reciprocal parking easement and maintenance agreement between Dorchester County School District 2 and the City of North Charleston for the aquatics complex.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk please call the roll.
Ms. Jamison?
Aye.
Mr. Brinson?
Aye.
Mr. Olds? Mr. Hart?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Skipper?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Summy?
Aye.
Mayor Summy,
Yes, sir.
I think the last four we have is a request to approve. Is any reason we can do them by title?
Without objection, we'll do the last four by title only.
Item 6 is a request to transfer deadlined police equipment to the Yemassee Police Department. Item 7 is a request to approve the transfer of deadlined fire department equipment to the Cross Rural Fire Department. Item 8 is the bid award for lighting control upgrades at the Convention and Performing Arts Center to the low bidder, H.R. Allen Incorporated, in the amount of $438,600. Number 9 is a request to approve additional funds and the transfer of funds for the Aquatic Center in the amount of $1,038,571,000. And that is all.
Hear a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any
Question.
discussion on any of the items? Yes, sir.
Discussion, Mr. Mayor, how did the people miss something like the furniture in the facility? How would they do that?
Well,
I mean, that's
you
poor
got to
work.
remember, Bob, this was actually a project that was the Dorchester School District's project, and we took it over. And some of the things that were left out of the process were not included in the original plans. They were thought that they were. A lot of these things, the pool deck covering, it just is dangerous to have kids running around with wet feet on wet cement. So we got to put the tile around it to make sure that they're safe. The acoustical treatment is, the building has become so large, and if you've ridden by it, you'll see that without this material and treatment that we do, it will be hard for hearing any announcements or anything that's going on. It'd be very bad. Scoreboard timing system, you've got to have, and it wasn't in the original plans, but when the swimmer is swimming, when they touch the wall, if you don't have something that sends a signal, you're not going to get the time. So this is stuff we've had to do, Bob, pretty well to bring it up to standard that it needs to be. Some of it should have been caught earlier.
Yeah, okay.
I don't disagree with you.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Should have been called.
But fortunately for us, the money was in the $80 million bond package that we passed, and there was another project that came in quite less than what we had anticipated, so the funds out of the same bond bill that this is being paid for is being utilized to bring it up to the standard that it needs to be. I hope that answered your question.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
thanks for the clarity. However, I'm a no vote on that additional funding.
Okay, sir.
I'll support all other items.
We've got with us tonight, before we vote, we have the MSC police officer here that's going to be receiving some of the equipment, and we just want to tell him welcome to North Charleston. We're very happy to have you here and glad that we're able to transfer some of this equipment to you. And there's a representative also from the fire department that's getting the equipment. No? Oh, he's from Yemassee too? I will hold on to you then. But it's we could sell this equipment. It's not going to bring that much money. I don't know if y'all remember or not, 23 years ago now, when we wanted to go with a car for every police officer, we took old cruisers that the county was getting rid of to get enough vehicles to start that program. So that was a way that we were helped in getting to it, and so we just think that it's appropriate that we help other communities as well. So we're glad to be of assistance to you. Okay, now back to this item. Any other discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Jamison?
Aye.
Mr. Brinson? Mr. Olds?
Aye, 6, 7, 8, no for 9.
Mr. Hart?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Skipper?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Summy?
Aye.
Motion carries as noted. That's all I have.
That's it. Anything else for the council? Hearing nothing, meeting's adjourned.